I would like to share a story with you. Recently, only a matter of weeks ago, I had someone say to me, someone that I and others would describe as an overt narcissist, with the ability to dabble with traits from other narcissistic groups, that by my attempts to evolve myself, my life, my persona, my opinions on myself, my ability to communicate better, speak better, made me a narcissist. And anyone who knows me knows that that is certainly not who I am. In fact, I by nature and for decades struggled with self-confidence, self-esteem, self-worth, and sense of ability. All a direct result of my upbringing. Irregardless of the cause and effect, of why I developed particular weaknesses in my personality, I have. That was the bottom line. I am very much a true introvert. However, I used to suffer from really bad anticipatory anxiety. I couldn't speak to people. I couldn't go out. At least not without feeling like I was going to die or faint. I'd sweat and panic. And if I knew I had to leave the house the next day for an appointment or whatever, I'd lie awake the entire night before, unable to stop thinking, unable to sleep. Worrying about what could happen if I left the house, my safe place. If I bumped into this person or that person, how I'd deal with situations if they'd arise. And over time I developed an avoidance personality. I didn't and still don't like confrontation. In fact, I hate it. However, through building my self-confidence, self-esteem, and everything else I've mentioned, I've developed the ability to deal with things as and when they arise. People, in general, can be horrible. And I've learned from a lifetime of trying to avoid confrontation with people that no matter how hard you try, there's always someone out there in this big bad world that can implode your world, even when you don't leave the house. And that is the saddest part of all. I then saw that I was wasting my life avoiding bad situations and bad people. And that made me the fool. By staying away from people, and I'd figured out I could starve gossip and troublemakers of energy and up-to-date information, and somehow over time they would tire and just stop. That was another lesson for me. A lesson that some people never stop. The reality is, some people can stop, and some people don't even want to. It's how they're hardwired. And being liars is what makes them tick. No matter how many years that pass, they will be in the same position as when they started as a young adult. No prospects, no accomplishments, no progression. Because those with prospects and accomplishments and a heck of a lot of progression don't have the time to invest in other people maliciously. So the people that I have mentioned, they can't be helped, and it's not your problem anyhow. And the sooner you learn that, the better. All of the mistakes I made trying to survive life in as easy way as I knew how, I developed many strategies, and with spending all that time alone, I developed many fascinating interests. At least fascinating to me. I love educating myself, and all the things people may have thought me above my station for taking a fancy to, like law, business, health, culture, history, cuisine. My list is truly endless. Bringing all this back to the recent insult, my point is, no one has the right to say, accuse, or tarnish your self-development with snide comments. Just because something you do doesn't make sense to them, does not mean you can't or shouldn't make sense to you. For instance, I remember when I met my husband, I used to have to explain why I found certain jokes funny or even hilarious if he didn't. That was when I was a much younger woman. But today, I answer to nobody, and neither should you. You like what you like. You love what you love. You are who you are because you choose to be. This is the wonderful thing about existing in a world where you can be anything. Transform yourself without explanation. Transform yourself without shame. Transform yourself without a second thought, because nobody else matters. You have every right to do you. So go and enjoy being the you were born to become.